Let's dive into a classic adventure movie from 1976. It's a story about a huge ape who falls in love with a beautiful woman and causes chaos in New York City. The characters in this movie are really interesting. From brave explorers to amazed New Yorkers, each one adds something special to the story. Who was your favorite character? Did you like the brave hero or the sneaky villain? While watching, keep an eye out for cool facts about how the movie was made. There are lots of surprises that make the movie even more exciting, so grab some snacks and get ready for a thrilling journey with King Kong. And remember, there's always more to learn about this classic film. Many critics disdain this remake, particularly pointing out the obvious human portrayal inside the gorilla suit. However, considering the limitations of special effects technology in 1976, it's understandable that conveying the range of emotions required for Kong's character was challenging. Surprisingly, the mechanical arrangement of the gorilla's facial expressions often surpasses that of some human characters, notably Charles Grodin's expedition boss. Despite its hokum nature, the film manages to entertain. However, a notable issue arises in the portrayal of Kong as a sexual threat, particularly evident when he interferes with Lange's character. While the film tactfully obscures Kong's mid-region, any sexual subtext is rendered implausible by Kong's immense size. The film's relevance is highlighted by its resonance with historical events, such as the attack on the World Trade Center and themes of oil exploitation, which may warrant its inclusion in discussions about cinema's reflection of recent history. Compared to other films of its kind, King Kong holds up reasonably well with impressive scenery, though it falls short of earning any Oscar nominations. Overall, it presents an interesting study of how cinema reflects societal concerns and historical events. In one scene, Dwan reveals that she was supposed to star in a movie in Singapore, but ended up on the yacht instead, where everyone else was watching an adult film. This suggests her connection to Harry Reams, the star of the adult movie they were watching. Apart from the colossal mechanical Kong, Carlo Rambaldi also crafted two mechanical hands to hold Jessica Long. These hands, made of duraluminum metal and covered with rubber and Argentinian horsetails, took over 4 months to create. Glenn Robinson supervised their construction at MGM's department. Meryl Streep auditioned for Dwan's role, but was rejected because the producers felt she wasn't pretty enough. They even complained in Italian about her appearance. Kim Basinger's first film audition was for the role of Dwan. The character King Kong was portrayed by Rick Baker, though uncredited. Glenn Robinson and Carlo Rambaldi designed the initial mechanical Kong, with construction beginning in January 1976 on a Hollywood backlot. The completed model weighed 6.5 tons and was operated by hydraulic valves controlled by 6 men. Michael Dino, the hair designer, used 2 tons of horsehair from Argentina to create Kong's fur, which took several months to weave and attach to the model's frame. Filming lasted 7 months, from January to August 1976, with the New York City climax filmed in June. Over 30,000 extras turned up for the casting call of 5,000. In the film, the initial plan was to have a comical Italian oil drilling foreman named Joe Perko as the romantic lead. However, this idea was changed, and Jack Prescott, a young Princeton anthropologist, took his place. The female camera operator, originally envisioned as a classy semi-intellectual, became a would-be actress set adrift at sea. This shift was made to bridge the gap between reality and fantasy, with the discovery of a beautiful girl in the South Pacific, serving as the gateway to the fantastical elements of the story. Carlo Rambaldi constructed a life-size mechanical Kong after determining the size of its hands in comparison to Jessica Long. A 40-foot Kong model was then built to create the rubber and horsehair skin for the mechanical Kong. Dino De Laurentiis sought out Ray Harryhausen for the stop-motion effects, but Harryhausen declined due to insufficient time for such a detailed shoot. In a well-known TV show, there's a scene where a poster of a big gorilla movie is hanging on the wall. The actor Jeff Bridges, who's been in a lot of famous movies, won a big award in 2010 for a movie called Crazy Heart. Around the same time, another actor named Colin Firth got nominated for a different award for his role in a movie called A Single Man. The next year, both Bridges and Firth were nominated again for another award, and Firth won for a movie called The King's Speech. Also, in that movie, when the characters look at pictures of an island from space, they notice it looks like a gorilla's skull. This makes the adventure even more interesting. In a key moment at 1:47:24, a huge mechanical giant steps into the spotlight, towering over everything else. This change in size stands out, adding interest to the movie's making. Rick Baker played a big part, making 4 ape suits for the film. Underneath the fur, There were special suits with muscles filled with silicone to make Kong's muscles look real. To make Kong look like a gorilla, mechanical extensions were used for the hands, controlled by people off camera, giving Kong the right proportions. The mechanical hands, each weighing a massive one, 650 pounds, caused some problems. While filming a scene where Kong gently touches Dwan, actress Jessica Long hurt her neck because of the heavy hands, showing how tricky it was to bring such a huge creature to life on screen. The close attention to detail in how Kong looks and moves shows how hard the creators worked on the film. In appreciation for the efforts of the crew, and as a promotional gesture, Dino De Laurentiis commissioned 500 Kong maquettes, crafted from polyresin, and wood at a cost of $200 each. A January 31, 1977 People magazine issue featuring Jessica Long captured a moment where Lange presented one of these maquettes to Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis. Jeff Bridges entered the cinematic record books by becoming the 5th actor in Oscar history nominated for a role that previously earned another actor an award. Bridges received a nod for his portrayal, a role originally recognized with an Oscar for John Wayne in True Grit. This unique occurrence mirrored instances involving Marlon Brando, Robert De Niro, Gerard Depardieu, Peter O'Toole, Charles Laughton, and Robert Shaw, each recognized by the Academy for their work in roles with a prior Oscar-winning history. Capitalizing on the 1976 release of Dino De Laurentiis' live-action Kong, 2 animation studios announced plans for King Kong animated series. Fred Calvert of Farmhouse Films proposed a 6-part Saturday morning adaptation, leveraging the argument that the original novel was in the public domain due to copyright issues. Simultaneously, DePatie for Lange Enterprises teamed up with producers Walter Boan and Gene Farmer for an animated series based on the iconic character. However, both projects ultimately remained unfinished. In 1977, there was quite a stir at the Oscars because of a movie from 1976. The Academy Award for Special Achievement caused a lot of arguments, even leading some people to quit their positions in protest. The movie featured a gigantic 40-foot mechanical ape, which cost $17 million to build. It had a frame made of 3 tons of aluminum. Its body was covered in rubber and decorated with 1 of 12 pounds of horsetails from Argentina, all sewn on one by one. Inside, there were 3 100 feet of hydraulic hoses and 4 500 feet of electrical wires. It took a team of 20 people to operate this huge creature. During a press conference, the producer, Dino De Laurentiis, showed off the movie's stars Jessica Long and the massive ape. Jessica wasn't too keen on screaming for the cameras while standing in the ape's hand, but Dino assured everyone that the ape was still a work in progress. When asked about its size, Dino pointed to a big painting on the wall, saying that the ape would be just as big, if not bigger, in the final version. He also mentioned that viewers might shed tears at the end of the movie, comparing it to the emotional impact of Jaws.